Hey, third graders, we're going to continue our story today. Remember, deep down and other extreme places to live. And we talked yesterday from the table of contents, and we actually looked at all different parts of this book, right? Because it's a nonfiction story, so it's got a lot of different text features. Remember, yesterday we read Life on Earth, and then we learned about life at the bottom of a canyon and the Havasupai people, right? So today we're going to check out page 12. Surviving in one of Earth's hottest spots. And today, what I want you to focus on is asking and getting questions answered as you're reading. Sometimes, right, we can find the answer if we just continue to read. And a lot of times, as we're reading, we come across things that we're confused about. And I'll point some things out to you that I'm confused about in this book as well. All right. So the title of this section is called Surviving in One of Earth's Hottest Spots. Now, remember, we've got some photographs. This one does not have any kind of a caption. So I just have to kind of use my imagination and then look at what's at the bottom. A bunch of camels. So I'm already asking questions. I wonder what camels have to do with this hottest spot. Do they have a job? Right? What are they doing there? So let's read and see if we can find some things out. In the middle of the Great Rift Valley in Ethiopia is the Danakil Depression. This region looks like a different planet. It is one of the hottest spots on Earth. It is heated from above by the sun and from below by lava flows. You would think that nobody could live there, but it is home to the Afar. The Afar are nomadic people who come to the Danakil Depression every day to mine salt. So look, she has got something covering her. I'm wondering why, but it says it's very hot, right? So I wonder if she's trying to protect herself from the sun. I've heard of Ethiopia, but I'm not quite sure where that is. So maybe I can look on a map to find that information out. And then Danakil Depression, I don't know what that is. It talks about it being a region. So I think that means it's just an area of land. So I'm going to keep reading to find out. But there's another word here, nomadic. The Afar are nomadic people. I wonder what that means. So I'm already questioning as I'm reading. And I'm going to keep reading and see if I can find some answers. Not a cool breeze. Fire winds blow through the Danakil Depression. They are said to feel like a tornado in an oven. Oh my goodness, can you imagine that? Can you feel what that must be like? Oh, look, here's a map. Here's the world like we saw yesterday, remember? In yesterday's, we were looking at the United States. So this is a different view of the world. And oh my goodness, look at that. That's Africa. So the Danakil Depression, Ethiopia, must be in Africa. Okay, so it's showing me that by looking, and I'm using that text feature, and that's helping me understand the story. And it's just, right, it's just a picture of something. Let's find some information out here. The Danakil Depression, claim to fame. Remember, we read that yesterday as well. Daily temperatures of more than 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Holy hot. It does not get that hot in Michigan. Altitude. That's an interesting word. 300 feet below sea level. Rainfall, less than 7 inches a year. I wonder how much it rains in Michigan in a year. That would be interesting to compare. The closest city, Mekelle, and it's 60 miles away. 60 miles. You can go about 60 miles in a car, and it takes you about an hour. So think about you driving that far. But there's all these pictures of these camels, and I wonder what I'm going to learn about those camels. Here's a new heading, Afar Gold. 10,000 years ago, the Danakil Depression was part of the Red Sea. Okay, so it was part of the sea, but now it's not. It's land now. It says the waters have evaporated and left behind salt flats. To the Afar, this salt is like gold. Until recently, blocks of salt called emole were used as money in Ethiopia. Today, northern Afar people still earn money from selling salt. So I wonder if they take those camels and ride them to this land, this Danakil Depression that used to be part of the sea, and now it's all dried out. I wonder if they use the camels to do that. Look at that. They call it liquid gold. It's kind of crazy, huh? Well, look at here are some donkeys or mules or burros. Look, yeah, look at there's salt blocks on top of that camel. So they're using them to transport things. The salt trade. Weight of one salt block or a mole, about 9 pounds. So that's probably as much as like a newborn baby, maybe a little bit heavier than that. You can get a 10-pound bag of potatoes at the grocery store. So next time you go there, maybe you can look for a 10-pound bag and see. That's how much a block of salt would weigh. Number of blocks per camel? 30. Oh my goodness. 30 blocks, and each one is 9 pounds. Remember how we learned about multiples of 10? If I cover up that 0, what's 9 times 3? 27, right? And then I'm going to tack that 0 back on. 270. 270 pounds on the back of that camel. Wow, he's pretty strong. Distance traveled per day, 15.5 miles. That's a long way to go with 270 pounds on your back. Here's another picture. I don't know if he's looking very happy. She doesn't look very old either. I wonder if she's a child your age, maybe a little bit older, and she's working doing the same thing. Camel caravans. Oh, good. We're going to figure out what the camels are really used for. Every day, Afar miners come to the salt flats with around 2,000 camels and 1,000 donkeys. Okay, so remember at the bottom, I said mules, donkeys, burros. Now we know they're for sure donkeys. They transport a mole into the cities. The salt blocks are cut by hand. Everybody in the community takes part. The walk from town to the salt flats and back can take 6 days. Oh my goodness, and do you remember? On the previous page, it talked about it's heated by the sun from above and lava flows underneath, so the ground is super hot. I don't know if I would want to live here. It seems very hot. So what is life like in an Ari? What is an Ari? Oh, look, here's a picture right here. There's a caption. It says the Afar live in huts called Aris. Okay, so that answered that question. The Afar cross the Danakil Depression to mine salt. They then sell it in the cities. The Afar can do this because they bring their homes with them. What? I don't travel with my home. Do you travel with your home? They pack their houses, called Aris, onto the backs of their camels. They usually put up their Aris around wells. The Aris are round, like igloos, and are made from light palm matting. They provide welcome shade in which to cook, eat, and sleep. So let's zoom in a little bit and get a better picture of that. So it said they're made from light palm matting. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to turn my light on. It might help a little bit. See that? So something very lightweight. So they take their houses with them. So I wonder if that word nomadic means that they move from place to place. I wonder if that's what that means. And here's the lady inside. Looks like she's cooking something to drink, maybe, or maybe some soup. I noticed she's got her head covered too, so I'm wondering, it's so hot there, and she has her head covered, and that young girl at the very beginning had her head covered as well. Must be to help protect them from the sun. Let's look and see what they eat. Look at it, it says, what's cooking? What the Afar usually eat. Meat. Okay. What they eat it with. Thick wheat pancakes. What the Afar drink. Milk. Okay, so they eat kind of like we do, right? How the Afar say welcome. They give their guests a drink of milk. So instead of giving them a handshake or a high five, they give them some milk. So here's a picture of some of the ingredients that they eat and use. Here's a picture of their milk. Maybe that's what she was pouring in that other picture. It says, in addition to mining salt, most of Far herd sheep, goats, cattle, and camels. Now I'm noticing that in this book, these bright yellow pieces have like fun facts. It's like different information. So that's in this story. Let's look back. Oh yeah, there was one about the mail and how the mules bring the mail. So that's like extra information. And I notice that it's in yellow. It's drawing attention to it. So I want to make sure I read that. There's always lots of information that I can learn. Okay, so one of the hottest places on Earth, right here in Africa. I don't know if I would want to live there. Might be cool to visit. They work very hard, right? It takes them 6 days to walk from town to get where they need to go. They do that in the hot sun, and they have to take their houses with them. Wow. I don't know about you, but when I read, especially nonfiction information, I have a lot of questions as I'm reading, and sometimes I can find the answer if I keep reading. Sometimes I have to find my information elsewhere.